Hi guys, it's Mrs. Pikarski and I'm back with our Junie V. Jones book. We're going to read chapter 4 today, which is called Me and Lucille and Some Other Kids. So we'll see what happens. In chapter 3, if you were watching, she got off the bus and she hadn't had a very good experience on the bus. She didn't like being on the bus very much. So let's see what happens in chapter 4 now that she's at kindergarten for her first day. Me and Lucille and some other kids. It says, some of the other kids turned out, let me go back and start over, I got tongue-tied. Some of the other bus kids turned out to be in my class too. One of them was that Jim I don't like. Mrs. made us line up and then we followed her to our room. Its name is room 9. There were other kids waiting by the door, and when Mrs. unlocked it, everyone squeezed in all at once. That Jim stepped on my new shoe. He made a scratch mark on my shiny shoe. The kind of scratch that licking won't fix. Hey, watch it, you mean Jim, I hollered at him. Mrs. bent down next to me. Let's try to use our quiet voice while we're at school, she said. I nodded nicely. I don't like that mean Jim, I said in my quiet voice. After that, Mrs. clapped her hands together very loud. I want everyone to find a chair and sit down as fast as you can, she said. That's when I ran to the table with the red chair. Only guess what? There was already someone sitting there, a girl with little red fingernails. And so I tapped on her and I said, I would like to sit there, I think. No, she said, I am. Yeah, only I already picked that chair out, I told her. Ask my mother if you don't believe me. But the girl just shook her head no. And then Mrs. clapped her loud hands again and said, please find a seat. And so then I had to quick sit down in a silly yellow chair. The same silly yellow color as the silly yellow bus. After that, Mrs. walked to a big closet in the back of the room. It's called the supply closet. She got out boxes of new pointy crayons and some white circles. Then she passed them out and we had to print our names on the circles and pin them to our fronts. If you need help spelling your name, raise your hand, said Mrs. I raised my hand. I don't need help, I told her. Grandma Miller says I print beautifully. I used red, but then a mistake happened. I made my Junie too big, and there wasn't any room left for my B, and so I had to squish it very tiny at the bottom. I don't like this stupid, dumb circle, I hollered. Well, I don't think that's a very nice way to talk. Mrs., it says, Mrs. made the sh sound and gave me a new circle. Thank you, I said nicely. Grandma Miller says I print beautifully. The girl with the little red fingernails was faster than me, though. She showed me her circle and pointed to her letters. Lucille. That spells Lucille, she said. I like that name of Lucille, I said, because guess why? Seals are my favorite animals, that's why. Then Mrs. passed out drawing paper and we drew pictures of our family. Mrs. put a happy face sticker on mine. It was very good, except I made my father too teeny and Mother's hair kind of looked like sticks. After that, Mrs. took our class on a walk around the school and everyone had to find a buddy to walk with. My buddy was Lucille. We held hands. And this boy I don't like was in front of us. His buddy was that Jim. That Jim I don't like. The first place we walked to is called the Media Center. My mother calls it a library. It's where the books are. And guess what? Books are my favorite things in the whole world. Hey, there's a jillion of them in here, I hollered, feeling very excited. I think I love this place. The librarian lady bent down next to me and she said to use my quiet voice. Yeah, only guess what? Right now, I just like the kind of books with pictures, but Mother says when I get big, I'm going to like the kind with just words and also stewed tomatoes. The boy I don't like said, "Shh." I made a fist at him. Then he turned around. After that, we went to the cafeteria. The cafeteria is where kids eat lunch, except not when you're in kindergarten. At our school, we do eat lunch in the cafeteria, so it seems like her kindergarten is different. It says, I said, "It smells like yummy in here, just like biscotti and meatballs." Then that mean Jim turned around and held his nose. "P.U., I smell you," he said. Lucille laughed very hard, and so I stopped holding her hand. Yeah, that wasn't very nice. The next place we went to was the nurse's office. It's very cute in that place. There are 2 little beds where you can lie down and 2 little blankets that are the color of plaid. Plaid is like, it's kind of like a crisscross pattern if you haven't seen that before. It says our nurse doesn't look like a nurse though. She doesn't wear white clothes and white shoes. Lucille raised her hand. "My brother said that last year he came here and you let him take off his shoes, and he got a drink of water in just his socks." That Jim turned around again. "P.U., I smell your feet," he said to Lucille. This time Lucille stuck out her tongue at him. Like, like if somebody says something you don't like and you want to just be silly with them, sometimes you might stick out your tongue like that. Anyway, it says after that we held hands again. So now Junie B likes Lucille again, I guess. Oh boy. And that's the end of chapter 4. So they got to see the nurse's office. So they took a tour around the school, and they learned some things about kindergarten on their first day so far. So we'll see what happens next time in chapter 5. Hopefully her and that Jim can start to get along somehow. I wonder what you guys think at home. What could they do maybe to fix the situation, because they don't seem to be getting along very well. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see you next time in chapter 5. Bye guys.